Okay, now I want to just talk about my reshaping process. Let's talk about my reshaping process, because it was a process. I was introduced to the flagship product, the Body Magic, back in July of 2008. And I was introduced by my good friend Erica McQueen and Carrie Robinson. Before I go on about my reshaping process, I just want to give you my state of mind, body, and spirit. A few months prior to that encounter that I had with the Body Magic, I had a bomb that dropped in my life. It was a huge bomb. I was in a war and the bomb dropped. And there were some casualties. Some people were taken out by this bomb. Well, the after effects of the bomb lingered. I was hurt. I became depressed. I felt defeated. I lacked self-confidence. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I gained a lot of weight. Now, the weight was probably a process over time, but with all that hurt, depression, feeling defeated, and lack of self-esteem, that was huge. This was a huge piece. I recalled my husband, telling me that I needed to get my emotions together. I just couldn't get it together. I couldn't shake what was going on. I didn't know where to begin. So when Carrie invited me over to the showcase, I said, well, let me go ahead and get out and mingle with some people, because I wasn't mingling. I was just home. I was home. I was sitting in my yard. So I went to the showcase. And I'm trying to, be social. So I volunteer. Erica asked for a volunteer. Who wants to try on a Body Magic? Or who wants to be the model? And I said, I'll be the model, Erica. Now, mind you, no one knows that this is going on with me. It's internal. I internalized everything. I can function. I'm smiling. But inside, I am torn up. And I'm trying to, I don't know. I can't express what I'm really feeling. So anyway, I volunteered in the showcase, and that had to be a divine appointment for me to raise my hand and say, I'll volunteer, because I don't volunteer for anything. I stood up. Erica said, well, let me take you upstairs. And, she told the audience, we'll be right back. And she had somebody else giving some announcements. And she measured me. And then she held up this tiny garment. It was really, really tiny. And I looked at her and I said, Erica, what are you doing? I ain't getting to that. And she laughed. And Carrie's looking, Carrie's just experiencing this for the first time. She's like, yeah, you're going to get into it. I saw it happen. So anyway, we go and, I undress. And Erica tells me, she gives me this wiggle move. She said, when I get the garment here, I need you to wiggle. And I'm like, okay. And when you wiggle, we're going to pull. So I'm wiggling, Carrie and Erica are pulling. Then they start pushing my flesh, my tissue, and I'm going to call it my fat, because I can say it, I'm talking about myself. They start pushing my fat, my tissue, and they're pulling, and then they're tugging. Like I'm tucking in the shirt, they start tucking, and then they're hooking, okay? And then we continue in the process, and they're hooking and tucking, and finally I got up. And Carrie just happened to have this nice black dress, at one time we were the same size, but she had this black dress, spandex, and she said, here, put this dress on. And we just happened to wear the same size shoes. So she said, here's my heels, put these heels on. They pointed me to this mirror, this long length mirror. I looked at myself and I said, wow. It was amazing. The transformation that took place within, the 10-minute time frame. I was like, wow. I appeared smaller, smoother. There was no rolls and bumps, no tires. And I was standing up straight. So my head was erect. And I felt tall. So I was taller. At that moment, something happened to me on the outside that created something internal to happen, to stir up in me. And I believe that was the start of my change. It was a small start. It was just a glimpse I looked at myself in the mirror and I saw myself in the future. So I got on board. I said, I want to change what I do to get my physical together. So that was the start of my physical. Now, we're not going to talk about the mental and the spiritual. The physical. That was my turning point. The physical led into my mental and my spiritual. Because I needed something going. I needed one of the mind, body, and spirits to start moving. So the body was the first, because I had to feel good. I had to be lifted and feel good about myself. So that was the start of that. And from that point, that's when the change process started. Now I just want to share this Bible verse with you. And this is from 3 John chapter 1, verse 2. And it reads, "Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well."